Oh! And I just broke it. And don't do that. All right, so we're back at it. Now I'm gonna remove the suspension. I do have a fork clamp, but this triple tree already acts as a fork clamp, so it'll help when loosening up this up here. But before that, I'm gonna take the screw out on the bottom, the damper screw. I also call it a drain plug, so we can drain all that oil out and then we can get these off. And for this bottom screw, I'm using an extended 6mm Allen. Got it?
Got it.
See that? And watch how this oil come out. You ready for all this oil to come out? So as you can see, this fork oil is absolutely filthy. This one already had a bad seal on it, so good thing we're changing this out because you definitely do not want to ride with that. So for the right fork slider, the screw on the bottom's already stripped out. It's gonna be a pain to get out, but we'll get it done. Oh, you might get it. Here. You might get it. Yeah. Oh,
you get it?
Yep. Awesome. How nasty that is.
Ugh.
You can see the difference between the right and the left. So I'm gonna do everything right here while it's mounted. So we're gonna take these dust caps off, just spin it around, find this little notch right here. You just pop this dust cap off. It just protects the seal and everything that's inside of here just to keep stuff out. But obviously this one didn't do its job. And then we'll take out that other dust seal, and then we'll take out the retaining clip and then just pop this fork slider off. So just be careful when you're taking these caps off. You don't want that screwdriver to go past and accidentally scratch your tube. Once you get this to pop up a little bit, just work around the edges to get it to pop up the rest of the way.
Okay guys, so we got this off and glad we didn't break any of this, so let's get to it.
So as you can see, these fork sliders were painted already. Whoever did that did not do a good job. As you can see, this scratches really easily, but we're gonna get these done the right way. All right, so we finally got this to pop up a little bit. So now I'll just work around it and get it off the rest of the way. There it is.
Oh yeah, we got another one.
Yeah. So now that we got the dust caps to pop off, we'll go ahead and get these other seals out, this other dust seal. So we got the dust cap off, this dust seal. Now you have a retaining clip. So with this retaining clip, you'll see a notch. You'll pry up on that and pop it out. Just be careful with whatever tool you're using that you're not damaging the tube. So I'm surprised this side wasn't leaking too. Everything in here is all rusted out. That seal looks in bad shape. So I'm glad we're changing this out. Now that we have the retaining clips out, I can separate the fork slider from the tube. So here's a close-up of that seal. As you can see, this is in bad shape. I'm surprised this one was not leaking. See that?
Yep.
Look at that thing. Oh, it's stuck in there. So if yours looks like this, just be careful getting all this out. You don't want to damage the inside of the fork slider. So here you have your lower stop and your spacer. And as you can see, the slider spacer is stuck in there. I'll go ahead and get that out. So for this fork tube bushing, you just separate it a little bit and it'll pop right off. So this is the ring that's inside of the seal that's supposed to sit on the bottom. Obviously this came out, so whenever you do reinstall the new seal, you want this metal ring that's on the seal facing down. So I did purchase a rebuild kit, but you do want to keep the stock lower stop. So on the bottom of the fork slider, when you remove that screw, just make sure that you remove that copper washer. That rebuild kit comes with a new copper washer. Yeah, whew, you hit it pretty hard. Good job. So I'll spray the inside of these fork sliders with some brake cleaner just to flush everything out. So now I'm gonna remove the headlight. I'm not gonna remove the handlebars yet. I'm just gonna loosen them up to get them out of the way. We are getting some new handlebars in, so I'm not too worried about these. We're also getting some new controls in. So I'm just gonna loosen it up to get it out of the way. I'll remove this headlight and then we'll get these fork caps off. So to remove this cover here that's on top of the headlight, there's a Phillips screw here and the nut on the back. So I'm using a 3/8 socket with an extension and then a Phillips head screwdriver. So if you have the same setup, just make sure you're keeping track of your screws and your spacers. And if you look inside of here, there's some metal retention clips. So just work your way around and pop these metal retaining clips out. Oh! And I just broke it. And don't do that. So now I'll just cut all these zip ties that are holding all these cables together and unplug the harness. So I'm just following all the cables and the harnesses back to this cover here. They're all tucked inside of here. So I'll cut these zip ties and get this cover off and I'll get them unplugged. So after you cut these zip ties, you do have a torque screw in here and it's a T25. So we're gonna do a coil and ignition relocation kit along with a tank lift and a wire tuck. So I'm not too worried about these wires. I'm just gonna get them unplugged for now. So here I have the headlight. I'll just run this through and remove the headlight. So to loosen up this top clamp for the bars so I can drop it down, you have these 4 screws and it's a 1/4" hex bit. Here, I'm just using a rubber mallet to break it free. So I'll pop the retaining clip out for this wire. So now that I have the handlebars out of the way, I'm gonna remove the fork caps. Now you don't have to move the handlebars to get these fork caps off, but because I'm taking this all off anyway, I just went ahead and knocked that step out. So now I'll just go ahead and remove these. So to get these fork caps off, I am gonna use a crescent wrench. I do have a fork cap tool, I just don't know where it's at right now. So you can use a crescent wrench. Just know when you are taking these fork caps off that they are under spring tension. So just be aware of that when you're loosening these up. So the fork cap has a seal, and with the rebuild kit, it comes with a new seal. Now that I have the two fork caps off, I'll loosen up the pinch screw on the top and on the bottom here to slide out the tube. All right, so it's a T45.
Okay, T45.
T45.
Yeah, T45.
And to loosen up these two pinch screws on each side, I'm using a T45. So inside the fork tube, you have your spring, you have your rebound spring or your drop spring, and then you have your damper tube. Now we are gonna replace the springs, but I'll keep the rebound springs and the damper tubes. And same thing with these tubes, I'm just gonna flush them out with some brake cleaner.